This is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make the red M&M. Colours you're going to need are red and flesh tone and white, a black band for his mouth, some googly eyes or beads, whichever you choose to use. I put them on after the fact, and a C-clip or an S-clip or Q-clip for closure on the back. We're going to use a single loom in the offset configuration, which means that columns 1 and 3 are the same height, but column 2 is a little bit taller. And we're going to be double banding, which means you're going to take 2 bands and place them over a peg as if they were a single band. So let's get started. We're going to come 3 down here, 1, 2 and 3, and then 3 on column 1, 1, 2 and 3. Now you're going to come down further on the middle column. So we already had 1, so that's 2, 3 and 4. We're going to put bands here to cross over, 1 there, and there's a pair there. And now we're layering this to give him his rounded shape, so we're going to put another 2 here and here, and here, and then another 2 on this side as well. Like that. Now we need to do some arms, so we're going to use white for his gloves. Take a single band, put your hook through it and wrap it once and twice, and then get 2 white bands and slide them on, another 2 white bands and slide on. Now traditionally arms are 4 or 5 pair in length. We're going to do 5, so we've got 1 and 2. We're now going to use flesh tone and get a pair of them, so that's pair number 3. Oops. Pair number 4, and pair number 5, and that is going to go on this peg here, the 3rd peg down. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Start with a single band, put your hook through, wrap it once and twice, oops, twice, and get your double band and slide that through, another double band and slide that through, so that's pair number 2. See, now we get our flesh tone, pair number 3, pair number 4, and pair number 5. And we will pop that on this side here. We need to do legs. He has chunky little sneakers, so I'm going to take 3 white bands and pop my hook through, wrap it once and twice, and then I'm going to take another 3, pop them on my hook and slide these ones over. I try and lift them and move them onto the peg so they don't get all twisted and snarly. So I'll do that. Then I'm going to get 2 white bands, and now I'm onto flesh tone. 1 pair, well I'm sorry, that's the 3rd pair, first pair for flesh, but we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm normally, if I'm doing a figure, I normally do about 4 or 5 again for the legs, 4 for the trouser colour, and then 2 for the shoe. So that's what we'll do. We're going to do 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that's going to go on this peg here. It's just going to stick out like that. We'll do the same for the other side. So start with your 3, another 3, lift it if you can to slide that on. Reclaim the end of your bands. 2, spread them out evenly, or as evenly as you can. And then we're on to our flesh tone, and we need 4 pair. 1, 2, 3, and lucky last, number 4. And that is going to go on this side. We need some crossover bands in red. Take a single band and put it over in a triangle. And get a couple more. Single band and wrap it over in a triangle. Now what I'm going to try and do for these is put it under the arms. I should have put them on before we put the arms on. We can do the same for the legs. Put under the legs. Like that. One here. And I'm going to put an end cap on this one. So I'll take a single band and wrap it around my fingers 3 or 4 times. I prefer to do it 4, the more the better. And pop that there. Okay, so we have our crossover bands, we have our arms and legs. We're going to do the mouth after the fact and the eyes after the fact, and also the M on his tummy after the fact. So now we're ready to loom. Dig down past your end cap and find those 2 top red bands and loop them to the corresponding peg that they belong to. Now it's going to be quite tight because you've got the arms and legs, so push those down. So we'll grab the next 2 bands at the top and loom them across, and loom this middle one up. Dig down to the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm telling you fibs. We want to first dig down past the crossover band to find the top 2 red bands. We have a layer here, and that's what we need to loom first. So you're digging down past the legs, past that first crossover band. So there's the crossover band, past the legs, grab those first top 2 red bands and loom up. Now I didn't grab the right ones there, I can see it's not forming the right teardrop. If you have to do it one at a time, that's fine. So pull back, get your crossover band out the way. There's one. Let's find the other one. I'm going to use a smaller hook. And there's the other. I have 2 hooks. I have a 2.75 for fiddly things and a 3.75 that I use for my everyday things. Digging down past that crossover band, grab the 2 that are on the top and again here, the 2 top bands only. And it is trickier when you have arms and legs in the way. 2 top bands and the 2 top bands. Now what we're going to do is push our hook, holding here, push our hook between layers 1 and 2, so you're above layer 1 but below layer 2, and you're going to lift these bands off the loom, but you're going to leave the crossover bands in the right place. Okay. One more time, take this one off the loom, but leave the crossover bands in place. Like that. And you're going to leave these bands there as well. On the other side, take the crossover bands off. Like that. Okay. So now we've done that, we're going to loom the first layer. Oh, hang on, we've still got him on. Let's take him off. There we go. Now we're going to loom the first layer, which you can see if you poke your hook down and move all those bands out of the way, you've got 2 bottom bands, and that is what we're looming up. Like so, and then back down here you're going to find those 2 bottom bands and loom up. 1 caught there, loom these ones to the side. And now we're going to concentrate on the middle, looming up. You'll need 2 red bands to tie this off. Poke your hook down the middle of this peg here and out the side. Put your 2 red bands on and twist your hook so the back side of it goes against the outer side of the loom, the peg. And then these 2, the ones nearest to you, are going to go up, over and off, and you're going to pull it tight into a slip knot. And then we're ready to take our little dude off the loom. Pull him into shape. Now these I like to normally just hide discreetly behind for the minute. I'm just going to go behind some of these loops, grab the bands and pull them down so that they're out of my way as I'm working on the eyes and on the M. As I mentioned, I have googly eyes, so they're sew-on googly eyes, so they have the little loop here that you can actually thread a band through. So I'm using a twisty tie as my metal threader. I have a YouTube video on how you can make one. I'm going to thread that through like that. I'm going to do the same for the other eye. Now if you have beads, that's fine, just add your beads as you would normally. You can just thread a band through a bead now and add them. Oops, nearly pulled that too far. There we go. So again, I'm using my smaller hook, my 2.75, and you're going to find the right spot that you want to put these eyes. They have to be quite high on him because you need to fit an M and you also need to fit his smile. So I'm going to put them quite high. I'm going to go about here on him for the first band to go through. Stab him through the head, grab your band and pull it through, and then have a look for where you want your second part of the eye to go through. I'm going to go through here, grab the end of the hook, end of the band, and pull it through. Grabbing both those bands, I'm going to pull one over the other, and I'm going to use an S-clip just to hold that band in place for now. We've got other bands that we need to add to this, so we're just going to hold that in place for now, and we're going to do the same for the second eye. So find out where you want him to be, and you're going to try and do it in the same vicinity as your first one. Pull the one side through, poke your hook through where you want the second band to go, and pull that through, and you're going to look for both ends of the band and pull one over the other, and we'll attach that to the other end of that S-clip. And at the moment these other tie-off bands are just sort of lying underneath the S-clip, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, now we really need to do his M, because we need to know where we're going to be so that we can actually have space for his mouth. So you're going to take some white bands, and if you have a look at his body, you can sort of see that there is a line of bands that kind of make an M in the red. So I'm going to poke my hook down one part and pull that through and up and pull that through. What I'm going to do to stop these bands from pulling through is attach a white band to the back like this. I'm not going to put a clip on just yet, putting a white band. Now it looks like it's pulled through. Whoops. Don't worry too much, because at the end we'll be able to just put our hook through and pull that up a bit to make it more prominent. So I'm going to go through the same spot. I'm going to grab my next band and pull it through to the back, and then poke my hook through where I want the M to be, and gently pull the band through like that. And again I'm going to grab one side and I'm going to put that on the white band that I have, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Grab that hook, that little band, so it doesn't escape, and reattach to that white band that I'm using as a holding band, and put them on there. So I've got all 4 bands on there at the moment. So here he is. Now I need to do this part here, so grab another band, poke your hook through, pull it through and up where you want the point of the M to be, which in my case is going to be here. Pull it through, now I've got one band that's here, so I'm going to grab that, and again I'm going to attach it to this band that I have here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Oops. Fumble fingers strikes again. Now if you're happier to actually have one side with a clip on it so it doesn't get lost, you can do that too, because ultimately that's what we are going to do, and have one end like that so it doesn't get pulled, and then that means this side can be a bit longer. That's fine as well. Okay, so now we're going to do the last part of our M, which is down from here to here. get another band, poke your hook through, oops, there we go, oh that's a horrible band, let's get a new one, pull it through, it's rather like sewing, isn't it? And I've gone right in the middle of those bands. Where did he poke out? There he is. Pull that through, and where you want it to finish is down here. So grab the band and pull it through. Sorry, the little one needed me. So this other end, we're going to poke it through, grab the other end of the band and pull it through so that we have it here. Okay, so I have the other end here. So both ends, I'll pull this one out of the way. Both ends are here. Oops, there we go. What I'm going to do is pull this one over this, like that. And do the same here. Pull this one over that. And I'm going to attach this to the end here, like so. So we have the M on his tummy, we have his googly eyes, or beads if that's what you're using. Pull him out, stretch him out. Now let's do his mouth. For his mouth we're going to use a black band. We're going to stab him through his face in a spot that you feel would be a good spot for his smile to start. And then stab him through the face where you want his smile to finish. Now try and do it in the same sort of approximate area on both sides, like that. And then you're going to grab both ends of those bands and we can attach it to the same one here. What you might like to do is cross it over there. Just my personal preference, I like to make it so that there's less bands lying around than I need. So I'm going to hook the eye to that as well, like so, and then I'm going to re-hook the eye back onto that clip. And there we have the red M&M. Now our green M&M is the same, except for her body colour is green. And what I've done with the googly eyes, I actually used a Sharpie and I coloured in the top half of her eyes to make it look like she's got sort of a bit of a sultry eyelid happening there. So that is the only difference, other than her boots will go up an extra layer of white. So whereas he's wearing sneakers and we do 2 white, for her we do 3, so that she looks like she's got boots on instead of sneakers. And otherwise she's just the same. I've made her mouth so that it's a little bit smaller, not so wide apart, and I parted the bands so it made it look like she had little lips. So she is exactly the same as the red, except different colour bands and higher boots, and then we've coloured in her eyes. So the next tutorial I'll be doing will be on the peanut M&M and not on the green M&M, because I think you guys are going to be able to do her by yourselves. Thanks for watching. Take care.